Hari Om. Today is the day of summarizing the Adhyaya. There are two ways of summarizing. One, the way of repeating what we have learned, going through the shloka, its meaning, so that the textual knowledge stays in our mind. And the second way of doing summarization is the way Pradeep ji spoke about. After all the description of a beautiful delicacy in the book is not going to satiate the hunger. What we have received for the change in ourselves is the extent to which Bhagavad Gita has gone in. If it remains only at central nervous system level and hasn't gone to the other systems, then the utility of Bhagavad Gita is swept away by the futility of studying it. So summarization is a confession box. Today, we will have to confess to ourselves that all that Gurudeva spoke, taught, we discussed, how much of it is in me? How much of it has affected my behavior? How much of it is seen in my actions? And with that angle in mind, if we restudy the shloka that we had done earlier, and every time the study need not have to be in the same manner. There are different facets to a diamond. So no need to see only one facet and keep looking at it. We can have the same luster of the diamond looking at different facets. It gives a different aspect of the luster. So similarly, at the time of summarization, it need not be again in the same manner that we did, but it can be seen with a little different angle also. The very chapter itself has started with a question, and that question itself is so relevant to us. Arjuna asking a question to Yogeshwara is fine. It is divine, all right. Question is, what about me? In Adhyatma, Swartha is very important. And in Vyavahara, Paramartha is more important. Unfortunately, we are Swarthi in Vyavahara and Paramarthi in Adhyatma. So Arjuna is asking a question to Yogeshwara, fair enough, both are very highly evolved souls. What about me? Can I get something in that question for me? And what is the question? Should I get involved in this world or should I be absolved from the world? Involvement versus absolvement. Frankly speaking, every now and then we face this question. Sometimes there is a vairagya that we develop and we say that all this is nothing. There is no point. It's all right. Whatever is happening is happening. It's Lord's wish. Suddenly we become an absolute sannyasi or vairagya that comes upon us. And at the very next moment, we get drawn into whatever is happening in the world. We are completely immersed. There is anger, there is desire, there is greed, there is fight, there is argument, there is unhappiness, there is melancholy. So either we are diving deep in the water or we are trying to jump out of the water. We are not trying to swim in the water. That is why the question is, should I be doing the karma that is given to me with a complete involvement into it the way I am doing, which I feel is the complete involvement? Or should I just give up everything and start cutting the ties one by one? Moment you say you start cutting the ties, they didn't say that, no, you are a father, you are a husband, you are a brother, you are this, you have to do this, you have to do this. Duty will come in. Then what do? Moment you get involved into everything, then people will say, oh, he's so much involved, like a father is doing this. When is he going to come out of it? When are you going to study Bhagavad Gita? Absolving or involving, that is the question. In technical parlance, karma yoga or karma sannyasa, that is the question. But there is a difference between the question that we have and the question that Partha has. Partha's question is, if I get absolved from the karma, then the whole sequence of having a karma, getting a phalam, again getting born for that phalam, all that action and getting reborn out of fruits of action, which are desired from the ego standpoint, all that is over. Is it not an easy way to get out of the whole bandha or this world itself? The world is involvement, so don't get involved. Is it not an easy solution? It is not. And that is why, as an answer to this question, and the question was multifold. You said jnana is sreshta. Jnana leads to karma sannyas. So is it not better directly to try for jnana? Why do the karma at all? So is a jnanam and karmam, should they be together? Should it be separate? If it is to be serial, then which is first, jnanam or first karmam? And if the jnanam is later and karmam is first, jnanam is achievement, then is jnana superior to karma? All these sub-questions are there, keeping entire plethora of questions that are coming in Arjuna's mind. Yogeshwara is now trying to answer. But before answering, Arjuna puts a slight punctuation in the question mark, and that is called as audacity. Audacity of asking Yogeshwara, yata shreyoho tayoho ekam tat me bruhi. Please tell me one out of the two which is the best. That means Arjuna has already decided that one is best out of the two. This is called as super confidence. Tat me bruhi sunishchitam. First you decide. Who is telling whom? Arjuna is telling Yogeshwara. You decide. You seem to be confused. Who is confused? Partha is confused. Now understanding the Arjuna's situation, the answer is coming from Bhagavan. The first answer and the first salvo that is fired by Bhagavan is Ubhau Nishreyasa Karau. Both are Nishreyasa. So first thing, take out of your mind Arjuna and the progeny of Arjunas like us. First thing that you take out of mind is karma and jnana. Both are Nishreyasa. Nothing is superior, nothing is inferior. However, tatoho karma yoga vishishyate. However, karma yoga is vishesh, special. He's not saying superior, special. Now, Gurudev has already warned us in his commentary that don't try to take this sentence and say that, Sankhya or Jnanam is inferior to karma. No, not at all. Visheshyate, vishesh, special. Special means what? Special means is secondary school, primary and secondary school superior to graduate school, college? No. Because without primary and secondary school, college cannot happen. What if I go directly to the college? You cannot. Arjuna's question was of this type. If I go directly to the college, easier to graduate, only 3 years. No, that cannot be done. Because for those 3 years, previous 10, 12 years have to be put. And then what are these 12 years meant for? Qualifying for the college graduation. So similarly, karma and jnanam, secondary school and college, they are serially arranged. You complete one and go into other. With every inch that you spend in secondary school, you have already inching forward towards graduation. So this qualification which you attained in the secondary school for graduation, the same qualification is called Chitta Shuddhi in Karma Yoga, which you achieve, that automatically propels you to Jnanam, towards Jnanam. And then if that is the case, then what is Visheshyate? If that is the case, then why Visheshyate? Because it makes the foundation for the onward march. Foundation for onward march in metaphysics or in Adhyatma is Chitta Shuddhi. And we do this confusion every now and again. There are people who I have come across, and many people might come across, saying that I am going for a meditation class. I am doing meditation for 2 hours. Sir, if somebody is doing meditation for a minute, you can completely prostrate in front of him, because doing meditation for a minute, nimisha matram, is a great achievement. Then what are they doing throughout night and hours when they say I'm meditating? It is a self-delusion. Why? Because no meditation is possible unless Chitta Shuddhi is complete. That means unless purification of heart, the Chitta Shuddhi is achieved, meditation cannot be attempted, or else it will be always fraught with failure. How can that mind, antakarana, think of dharana if it is tainted and polluted by all the vikaras? You cannot pour pure milk in a dirty pot. It will get spoiled. The pot has to be cleaned first, absolutely clear of all the dirt. And to do that, the marjanam that we do for the pot is nothing else but the karma yoga. Abho nishreyasa karo tatho tu karma yoga visheshyate. Now, why this is so? Unless the unfinished acts, unfinished tasks are taken care of, abandoning cannot happen. You cannot leave your karma phala here and then go towards the march of jnanam. Right now, we are having, all of us are having a resultant product of the karma that was performed in the last of the previous birth or births. Now, being a farmer, unless you harvest what has already sprouted, there is no question of planting anything again, or there is no question of abandoning the field. That means whatever is an unfinished task, the task started in past few births, it is unfinished because the fructification has happened now. Unless that is taken care of, abandoning karma sannyasa is out of question, because abandoning is done when there is nothing left to be attended to. With this clarification, the karma sannyasi concept has been more clarified by the Lord. Karma sannyasi is the one who has left nothing in terms of karma phala. The karmas are not bothering him for the phala. Then the karma, he automatically becomes karma sannyasi, because he has reached a stage of kartrutva bhrantinash. So for a blind person, when there is a movie going on the screen, it makes no difference to him, though the movie is going on and though he is watching it, eyes are no more there. Similarly, a karma sannyasi, jnani, although the karma is happening, he has left his kartrutvata. So the picture, the show will go on, but there is no actor in it. When that happens, the karma of such karma sannyasi is called a burnt seed, because there is no phalam that can sprout from it. And when that happens, he has no hopes left in what is happening of the karma, or he has no desire. So na dveshtati, na kankshati. Nirdvando bandhat pramuchyate. There is no desire left at all. Why? Because who will desire? The one who desires is ego. The ego itself is destroyed. When there is no seed, how this plant can sprout? So now ahankar being destroyed, a jnani does not have dvandva in his mind. When dvandva is not there, karma cannot happen. Plurality is a must for karma. Without plurality, multitudinous, at least three actors have to be there: the doer, the doing, and the done. If all the three are absent, how the karma can take place? In 18th adhyaya, 5 things are said to be necessary for the karma. If we go through that, which is not the subject of this adhyaya, it is clear that none of them are existing for this person. Having a sword doesn't mean it will kill. Somebody has to lift it and kill somebody, then the sword will act. So Indriyas and Sharira is there, but it will not act because Kartrutvata is not there. And yet, some people think Karma Yoga is different and Jnana Yoga is different. That is why the Bhagavan Yogeshwar says, Balaha Vadanti. It's a toddler's understanding, not the understanding of a grown-up, spiritually grown-up. Samyak Ubhaya Vindate Phalam. Both give the same phalam. Now, on one hand, we say Jnanam is after only Karma Yoga, Krama Samuchaya. And in the same breath, Bhagavan is saying that both are giving same results and both are equal in nature. Now, the meaning there is, a jnani puts the fire at the other end of the stick, while the Karma Yogi puts it at the lower end of the stick. Ultimately, fire spreads both ways and the thing will be burnt. That is why the one who is going through Karma Yoga, chirena, na achirena shantim adhigachyati, erlong. Gurudeva has used the word erlong. Within a little time, he reaches there. So somebody wants to destroy the house called this Vishwa. He wants to destroy the house called ego. You can burn it from the front or you can burn it from the backside. Karma Yoga burns it from the backside. Jnana Yoga or Jnani burns it from the front side. Either way, the fire will spread and destroy the house. So, Samyak Ubhayavindate Phalam. When the backside is burnt, Bhoktruttvata is burnt. When the front side of the house is burnt, Kartrutvata is burnt. The only difference between the two is Jnani starts burning everything from the point of view of Kartrutva Bhranti, while the Karma Yogi starts burning everything from the Bhoktrutva Bhranti. So, no phalam kankshati. That is why Bhagavad Gita uses again the most divine and the perfect language, being Sanskrit, Sankhe prapyate yoge gamyate. Prapyate, Sankhe prapyate. A jnani is at the top of the mountain and a yogi reaches the top of the mountain. Both go to the top of the mountain. But one flies there, one climbs there. When the climbing gets converted into flying is very difficult to say. That is the reason why Karma Yoga Visheshyate, because that is the beginning. Majority meaning almost all would start through karma. But we have seen some of them are jnanis. They were born and they never got involved into karma. They were karma yogi in their past birth. All these miracles, what we call a Sant Gyaneshwar or Shankaracharya, 21 years, 31 years, child prodigy. There's no prodigy, sir. At the age of 7, Chaturdasha Vidyasthanam was known to Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya started his own ashram school when he himself was 7 years old. Now, how that is possible? That is possible because one, he was avatar, and second was, this is all the work has been done in the past. That is why Yogeshwara says that if you feel you can fly to the top as a jnani, you want to directly become jnani, you can. But Arjuna, it is very painful. Sanyasastu mahabhavo dukkham aptu ayogataha. If you do not do karma yoga in the beginning as a karma prapti, you will have lot of problems and pain. Yoga yukto muni brahma na achirena adhigacchati. Yeah, it is slightly delayed process, slightly delayed, but that is the process and painless in comparison with that. It is not that easy. Karma yoga is not something which you can easily master. But if karma yoga is so difficult, then Sankhya yoga, approaching jnana directly, is not that easy. Why? Again, the reason is chitta shuddhi. If the chitta is ashuddha, paroksha jnanam, elephantine wisdom also will not help. We have all read about Upanishads and everything. Why is it that we are not becoming mukta or moksha prapta? Doesn't happen. Why? Chitta shuddhi is not there. That means what? Even if you read tens and thousands of granthas, you will have to go back to the action. Then come there. Whatever you may do, you cannot bypass secondary, primary and secondary school and get directly into the college. But once you master the karma yoga, yoga yukto, what happens? He becomes Vishuddha Atma, he becomes Vijita Atma, he becomes Jitendriya, and he becomes Sarva Bhutatma. Why? Because he has attempted Chitta Shuddhi. With every inching forward of Chitta Shuddhi, he becomes Vishuddha. Then he starts conquering his body first. Pradeep ji just now spoke about some bodily habits. These bodily habits are not easily going because the Rajotamo Guna is too much in us. Unless Sattva is put on ascendancy, Gurudeva felt like getting up early in the morning at 3:30 and taking a bath in the freezing waters of Ganga. For me, in our own shower also, I cannot take cold water. That is because of the preponderance of Rajoguna in me. Unless it is inculcated Sattva Guna, that will not happen. But once Sattva Guna starts rising in ascendancy, you yourself feel like getting up early in the morning. This is called Vijitatma. Jitendriyaha. Again, Pradeep ji spoke about this diabetes and the sweet. The sweet tempts you, means the Indriya fetches you. Indriya pulls you. Paranchikhani vitrunat swayam Bhokatopanishad says. It pulls you towards the subject. And we get dragged like a dog. Again, Rajogun preponderance. Mahatma Gandhi, when he single-handedly quelled the riots of Bengal, there was not a single incidence of intercommunal rivalry or any incidents. He broke his fast, and on that day, the chief minister of Bengal requested Gandhi to accompany him in the victory procession, which he did. But when the procession was getting delayed in the night, he became restless because his sleeping time was as per the clock. This is called discipline. People were shouting Mahatma Gandhi Zindabad, but he said this is the time to sleep. What prompted him? Preponderance of Sattva Guna. Discipline, Jitendriyata comes from that. Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma. Everybody appears to be friend. Maitri, Karuna, Upeksha, Maitri, Mudita, Karuna, Upeksha. These are the only 4 modes of behavior in this world, Patanjali Maharaj has told. Out of that, Maitri is the first. Maitri means everybody's friend. Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma. Once Vishuddhatma, Vijitatma, Jitendriya and Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma is achieved, then the parinama for such a karma yogi is Kurvan api na lipyate. Jijivishet Shatagam Samaha na karma lipyate nare. You live for 100 years, still the karma will not bind you. Why? The only way of the solution for the karma not binding you, our biggest issue in Adhyatma is getting bound by the karma. To get out of this bondage, karma yoga. And for karma yoga, by not getting attached to the phalam, now this we may say 1,000 and 10,000 times, but just cross-check our actions. Every action expects a fruit. So, Bhoktrutva Bhranti Vijaya is the flag that is hoisted by the karma yogi after his completion of karma yoga. Once Bhoktrutva Bhranti Vijaya is done, automatically Kartrutva Bhranti Jaya comes. And then he says, Na evam kinchit karomi iti. I do not do anything. साई से सब होत है, बंदे से कछु नाही. कहो कहीं कुछ किया तो तुम ही थे मुझ माही. Kabir Maharaj says. This is the same 8th and 9th shloka that is reiterating. Pashyan, Shrunvan, Spurshan, Jingran, Ashnan, Gachan, Swapan, Shwasan, Pralapan, Visrujan, Grunhan, Unmishan, Nimishan. All the actions. Na eva kinchit karomi. Why? Indriyani, Indriyartheshu vartantaha. Indriyartheshu, Saptami. In the interest of Indriyas, for the sake of Indriyas, Indriyas are working. Kabir Maharaj was badly bitten by a rabid dog, a wild dog, and the blood was dripping from the calf. And he was continuing to weave the blanket that he was weaving. So people came and asked, Kabir Maharaj, have you not noticed that you have been bitten by the dog? And the answer was, wo pindri jane aur kutta jane. I am not aware of it. Let the calf be aware of it. Let the dog be aware of it. Indriyani indriyartheshu vartantaha. This is called sakshi bhav. Such a karma yogi, when from Bhoktrutva Bhranti he has graduated to Kartrutva Bhranti, that means from karma yoga he has graduated to Sankhya yoga or Jnanam. Then what he does? He has no contact whatsoever with the Vishayas, in the sense the senses interact with the Vishaya, but he is not there. Sangam Tyaktva. Then why is he doing this karma? For whom? He himself is not there. Then for whom is he doing the Brahmanya Adhaya? He is offering it to Brahman. He is not offering it to self-ego. He is offering it to the Brahman. Divesting ego from action is investing Brahman in action. When ego goes away in any action, then Brahman comes into the action, because then there is no impediment of an ego. The ray that is pristine and pure flowing from the Brahman is now no more falling on a prism to get distracted into 7 colors. Instead, it is passing through the prism as the same ray outside. Then the question comes, if Kartrutvata is not there, and yet the action is happening, what kind of action is this? There is no Ichha, there is no Kartrutvata, and action is happening. It is a movie without actors. How it is possible? It is possible because Prayojana Rahita Karya, Prayojana Rahita Karma is called Leela. What Ishvara does is not karma, it is Leela. What Mumukshu does, what Gurudeva did, is called Cheshta. It's not karma. What we do is karma because it is impregnated with the desire for the fruits. And desire for fruits or any tenting of the karma, if it is not there, then it is not papam. Papam is simply defined as an action that leads to rebirth. That means desire prompted action leading to karmashaya, causing us to take the birth again, is called papam. Because there is no kartrutvata here, who will be reborn? Nobody will be reborn. And that is why no papam padmapatra ivambasa sangam tyatva phalecha or kartrutvata is given up. No sangha is possible. Then karma yogi, what is karma yogi doing? Till the time he has not reached the jnanam, he will continue to do the karma. So the purpose of karma done by the person till he has not reached the jnanam is chitta shuddhi. Every single act done by us should be towards chitta shuddhi. Kayena, from body, manasa, by mind, buddhya, by intelligence, indriya, api sangatyaktva. We may not go and actually do a dirty act, but you can think about it. That is also karma. Manasa. Scheming. In modern language, it is called marketing. Scheming of thing to deprive somebody of something so that I can be empowered with something is itself a kukarma. And the act and the art of reducing that ego is chitta shuddhi. So what is the ashuddhi? Ashuddhi is vikrut ahankar. There is a shuddha ahankar also, but that is at a much later stage. Vikrut ahankar. Vikrut ahankar causes 2 issues, avarana and vikshep. Out of that, vikshep is controlled by the karma yoga. Vikshep is controlled by the karma yoga so that vikshep comes down. And only when the vikshep comes down, bringing down the vikshep itself is chitta shuddhi. They are 2 sides of the same coin. When the vikshep is brought down, then you are now entering into higher karma yoga. What is higher karma yoga? Uccha karma yoga? Avarana vinasha. And what do you do there? You do upasana. Upasana is a karma. Upasana is also a karma. And what you do in day-to-day life is also a karma. This is nimnastar, low-level karma. That is high-level karma. So first we do low-level karma in a proper manner so that we get chitta shuddhi. As we move forward, such a purified chitta in its later stage uses that chitta itself to do uccha karma, which is uccha karma is because desire prompted, that is meditation. That will help us dissolving the avarana. And with every step of this karma yoga, the reward that will come is chitta shuddhi. But how do I know that I am getting chitta shuddhi? Shanti. Anandam is a secondary effect of Shanti. Anandam is a secondary effect of Shanti. Shanti itself is Anandam. Naishthikam Shantim apnoti karma phalam tyaktva yuktaha. The yogi who has karma phala completely jettisoned out of his mind. Why? Because the one who is not karma yogi, ayuktaha, kama karena phale saktva nibadyate. Kama karena phale sakta. That is the carry home message. Kama karena phale sakta. I don't want to be interested into the fruits of my action. I have done. No, don't try to think on those lines. Just think on one thing. Did you desire? Then you are definitely going to be bound to the phala. So the root lies in desire, not in phalasaktata. Phalasaktata comes because of desire. So phalam, what it is coming, not coming, just forget it. In the lottery, whether I will win or not, that is not a major issue. The desire to win is a major issue. Phala asaktata is because of desire. Desire is a futile wish for already manifested results. Desire is a futile wish for already manifested results, because what is happening is nothing else it is of the past. So when something which is already sown in the past is getting harvested now, it has already fructified. The mango has already come, and I'm trying to say that, can I have a gawa there? Can I have a kiwi there? No, sir, it has already become mango. Even if you dip, because what will happen now, you will ask for something else, then that will fructify in the next birth. So phala asaktata cannot be there, should not be there, need not be there. And that is why renouncing the actions mentally is what is most important, which is emphasized into the 13th, 14th, and the 15th adhyaya. So it is necessary that we focus on this and then do the summarization of Bhagavad Gita. Hari Om. Hari Om. In the first half of the adhyaya 5, the 15th shloka, the middle shloka of the adhyaya ends with Ajnanena avruttam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. In one line, Krishna Bhagavan has given the reason d'etre, as you call it, the reason of our problems in life. Ajnanena avruttam jnanam. What has covered? Ajnanam has covered. What it has covered? Jnanam it has covered. What is the result of that? Mudhata, muhyanti jantavaha. Those who are born or subject to birth and death are deluded. Being born itself is a delusion. Being in the samsara means samsarati iti samsaraha, that which keeps on changing is bound to be deluded. Then how can I not be deluded? By having jnanam instead of ajnanam. How can I do that? By destroying the ajnanam. Now, word ajnana has been uttered n number of times by us, heard by us, discussed by us. What is precisely ajnanam? The Yoga Darshana goes into the detail of this because they deal with the reason for birth. Anityam ashuchi dukkha anatmasu is ajnanam. Anityam meaning all that is temporary is ajnana. And in temporary, even the Devaloka comes under that. Forget about the Prithvi. What is the implication for me in my vyavahara of this high esoteric philosophy? What am I doing and thinking in my life to make my life better? Our definition of better life is having a bigger bungalow, achieving something which others have not achieved. If everybody becomes billionaire, the billionaire has got no importance. See, when we introspect ourselves, we realize, because we need to stop somewhere and just see what we are doing. We are constantly thinking about bettering our life, but our definition of betterment itself is wrong. What we are doing? I should have no pain. I should always get happiness. I should possess everything. So my definition of betterment is possession of as many things as possible, absence of dukkham, and continuation of my presence, shariram. And what is the Shastra saying? This itself is ajnana. Why? Because forget about your life on this earth, which is the third-rate life compared to Devaloka, where Indriyanam na jarayanti tejaha. Indriyas do not, you never become old. You are constantly in tarunya and you don't have death. There is no sorrow of any kind. There are upabhogas of all kind. That kind of Devaleka or Punyaloka itself is considered anitya. What to talk about my Ferrari? Ashuchi. We considered Shariram as a Shuchi. But everything here is Ashuchi, Aswacha, being matter. Shuchi or Shuddhata, Tat Shuddham Shukram, Asnavaram, all that is attributed to consciousness, Chaitanya. Everything else is Ashuchi. And what we want to continue with my life, I should not die for maybe another 10,000 years. I must live, others may die, no problem. I should always remain young. Ashuchi, that itself is ajnana. Dukkham, we think that, this problem, once it gets over, I am sorted out. This sorting out is always constantly we are doing. This is not sorting out, because what we call sukham is itself also dukkham. Sarve dukkham vivekinaha. This is the bhashyam of Patanjali Yoga Sutra. For the viveki, everything is dukkhamaya except the consciousness. So this is the ajnana. So Bhagavan says, Jnanena tu tad ajnanam yesham nashitaha atmanaha, tesham, the one who destroys ajnana by jnana. That means ajnana cannot be destroyed by anything else except jnanam. Tesham adityavat jnanam prakashayati tat param. Two things are very clear from this. Ajnan can be destroyed only by jnan. Second, jnanam itself is paramapada. So if this is the case, then how does this particular person, which I am not aware, I have not seen such kind of people around me, because all of us are into ajnana. So how is this jnani? How do I know what he thinks? Sita prajna ka bhasha? We don't know that. That is why being himself a sthita prajna, being himself jnani, being himself chaitanya, Bhagavan Krishna himself is telling. A small child, when he is to be put into school, the father tells him, what will happen after I take education? You will become doctor. Doctor, what is that? Because becoming doctor or the importance of being a physician or a doctor is not known to the child. Similarly, something that we have not seen, we have not come across a jnani except Gurudeva, and yet when we looked at Gurudeva, we thought, oh, he also eats, he walks, he talks beautifully, all right. But what is his mental makeup? Does he at all have mind? His universe is same as mine or different? Does Gurudeva experience same thing as I experience, or his experience is different, or does he experience at all? Is he in the experiential world, or is he into intuitive world? Now, these are certain things which can only be read, contemplated, and thought about as an idea, because we are yet to reach there. That is why Bhagavan is telling tad buddhaya, tad nishta, tad atmana, tad parayana. Tad means that tattvam, consciousness, one who has destroyed the ajnanam, has reached the jnanam, is constantly buddhaya, nishtha, atmana, parayana. So then what happens? He becomes the one, gachanti apunaravrittihi, jnana nirdhuta kalmasha, jnanagni sarvakarmani basmasat kurute. Then nothing in this ajnanika Vishwa which is dominated by upadhi, Vishwa which is dominated by ajnana, will not anymore taint, because the taint and the stain is removed, kalmasha is removed by the jnanam. That is why when Bhagavan says, when such a person, the difference between him and me, difference between Guru Deva and me, we are still not able to understand. All right, we respect Guru Deva, we regard Guru Deva. Guru Deva is Deva himself, all right. But still, we haven't trained our imagination to think what a different way they must be behaving in this world. How is Vivekananda different than me? That means what I do, what I think, what I contemplate is different than what he is. That means my world, Loka, is different than his. That is why Bhagavan is telling, let me tell you how these people are. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Kavi Hastini Shuchi Shopaka Samadarshanaha. For them, all the varieties appear to be one. Now, this is something very intriguing. How can you say that cow is same as stone, stone is same as water, water is same as air? This is stupidity. Because my buddhi, howsoever stretched, cannot understand that how everything can be same. But for the vapor to be understood as same as water, it requires knowledge of science. The computer programmer knows very well that how the language ultimately then puts the things from one place to another place. The email goes from one place to another place without any medium. How can the mail, like a post office letter, can go from one place to another place? For a layman, it is a difficult thing to understand, because his buddhi hasn't expanded to understand the concept of digitalization or binary function. Similarly, because our buddhi hasn't progressed enough, because we are still having a raw buddhi, a kushagra buddhi, which becomes pratibha, that is called a pratibha janya jnana in Yoga Shastra. Pratibhaja jnana, yogaja jnana. At that point of time, at one glance, the yogi or the jnani comes to know what he is seeing is nothing else but a transformation starting from the Prakriti, Mula Prakriti, and ending towards. He knows the past, he knows the future, he knows the present, he knows the entire kaleidoscope of happenings. And then he realizes, oh, he also came from the same source, that also came from the same source. And since he is focused on the source, although he sees cow as cow only, like us, our buddhi ends there. His buddhi travels from the cow backwards towards the consciousness and says, that is also consciousness, this is also consciousness. Yastu sarvani bhutani atmanneva buddhi janata. When all are seen as one, because that buddhi is called Atma Vishayaka Panda Buddhi. The Pandit has been defined, Sureshji explained it nicely. Panda Buddhi, Atma Vishaya Buddhi. Iha evate arjitaha sargaha samme sthitam manaha. You can reach this stage of Jnani Arjuna, which I just now described, iha eva, right here. There is no credit business in spirituality. It is all cash. Savadhani dakshataya tatkalachi moksha. Tatkal moksha. Tukaram Maharaj says, nahi ite udharicha vyavhara. There is no udhari. There is no credit here. Iha evate arjita sargaha Samya sthitam manaha. But condition is samya sthitam. Samya sthitam manaha means guna samyavastha. Guna samyavastha itself means Prakriti is no more exhibiting. You transcended the Prakriti. Guna Vishamata is the reason for the Sarga, for the universe. The one who has reached Guna Samyavastha has already reached to the source of Prakriti. And then he jumps beyond, he is called Trigunatitaha. Nirdosham hi samam brahma tasmat brahmani te sthitaha. Once he transcends the Prakriti, where does he reside? सितारों के आगे जहां और भी है, we don't know, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Then how does this man feels when he comes in this world? Does he also get the pain when he loses his mother? Does he get pain when he loses his money? Does he get pain when his wife shouts at him? Na praharshet priyam prapya, na udvejat aprapyam apriyam. Whatever may happen, sthira buddhi, his buddhi is sthira. Sthira means what? Vikshepa rahita. Asammudha, egoless, ahankara rahita. Then Brahmavid Brahmano sthita. He is not affected by anything outside. Bahya sparshesu asakta atma. He is not sakta. He is not addicted to bahya sparsha. That means Indriya gochara jnana. Whatever Indriyas bring to their mind, it doesn't bind them. We mind everything around us. They have no mind, so they don't mind what is happening outside. Bahya sparsheshu asaktatma Vindati Atmaniyat Sukham Sa Brahma Yoga Yukta Atma. Brahma Yoga Yukta. The one whose mind has no vikshep, no vritti, because into chitta vritti nirodha avastha. Then what happens? The one who resides in the sun is not interested in reflected sunlight of a mirror. We are all mirrors reflecting the consciousness or the sunlight. That is why our reflected light is limited wherever the focus is. The one who has seen the source of light coming in that mirror, we're talking about Bimba Pratibimba. The one who has understood that the light that is coming in the mirror called Buddhi is coming from the sun, which is the consciousness. He no more is interested into the mirror because all mirrors look same to him. They are all reflectors. Upadhi. Ye hi samsparshaja bhoga dukkha yona ya evate. Arjuna, this is the root of everything. Samsparshaja bhoga, moment the indriyas interact with the object, it leads to some amount of reaction, anukula or pratikula, and that is the trap. He shouted at me and I got so angry. Samsparshaja bhoga. He gave me something to eat. It was, wow, what a fabulous thing. It was out of the world. Samsparshaja bhoga. You know what? I am the CEO of the organization. CEO means Samsparshaja bhoga. You know what? My increment was due, but they did not give me. They discriminated against me. Samsparshaja bhoga. And these reactions to the things that are happening, which are incidentally the happenings of the past karma, this reaction again sow the seed for the next harvest, and the story continues. It is an episode-less drama of life, continuously aired on a TV channel called Life. But Buddha, Jnani, Buddha, Buddha, Buddhi, Bodha, the one who has realization, Buddha, knows that this is Adya Antavantaha. This sorrow came, it is going to die. This happiness came, it is going to go away. It will keep coming, it will go, because they are all Adya Antavanta. They come and they go, they start and they end. When there is something which is so impermanent, why should I get involved into it? This is what the Buddha realized, the soul thinks. depending upon your past karma. You were lucky, got a good job, fantastic salary, two nice children, both obeying to the father, two nice daughters, both got married. They got married into a good house. You got a grandchild. That grandchild is so brilliant in the childhood itself. Looks so beautiful and pretty to listen to. Sir, this has nothing to do with you. Because in the past birth, you did some good job. You got this. But my son doesn't listen to me. My wife is shouting at me. My daughter's divorce happened. And sir, this is also what you did in the past. In either case, can you correct the past? That is why it is called past. You cannot correct it. Gatam na shocham. Then what do? Do something by which same past will not come. Sometimes you get spicy thing in the taste in the mouth, sometimes sweet in the mouth. Spicy, you become jittery. Sweet, you become happy. Then what is the best thing to do? Reach to a situation where the food is not required. We all are trying for doing, even now in our mind, when we do some danam, forget about we don't danam, we don't give even our regular contribution to the mission. That is a different thing. But supposing we do it, out of 100 rupees, 10, 50 rupees we will donate. That also will say that, now that I have done punyam, I will get something. For the sake of reward, I will do that. I will help him because, at least he should remember me. How much I helped him when he was in trouble, and now he's completely forgotten me. This is the level of our danam. Even then, because you helped, something will come to you. But this is not the way to. Bhagavan is saying that everything that is samsparshas has to be left over by you. Then what happens? Praksharir vimokshanat shaknoti hi eva yah sodhum. You will be capable prak sharir vimokshanat, before the death itself. Right here in itself, as Vivekananda says, kama krodha udbhava vegam sayuktam sasukhi naraha. Kama krodha udbhava vegam. It is possible for the kama krodha itself means the reaction that we give to the interaction that happens between the mana indriya and the object. This nexus of mana indriya object creating a reaction in us, then setting a pattern for it called a vasana, is the crux of everything. Then what is all this high esoteric philosophy? Bhagavan is talking about that jnani person. I am such a ajnani person. So what is the carry home for me? Because summary is meant for contemplation. Gurudev gave us the tuition when we studied the shlokas. Then what is summary? Summary is intuition. After his tuition, some intuition has to come. It will come only by mananam or contemplation. What is the mananam we do? Always comparison. In Vyavahara, never compare. In Adhyatma, always compare. Why cannot be like, I cannot be like Krishna Bhagavan? Why cannot be like Gurudev? And then we come to know that, oh, what are the things lacking in me? There are a lot of things lacking. I always react. I don't respond, I react, and then I have kama and krodha. They don't have kama krodha. So what do? Yeah, first thing is my indriya should not get in touch with many objects. So what do? Reduce the number of objects. Don't keep moving here. This time, this mall, that time, that mall, this time there is restaurant, this vacation there. What is the need? WhatsApp and social media and Instagram and Facebook and how many followers, and she has, and that man has 5 million followers, sir. None of them will come to your rescue. Yaha antaha sukhaha antar aramaha tata antar jyoti eva yah sa yogi brahma nirvanam brahma bhuto abhigachyati. Antaha sukhaha antar aram. Labhante Brahma Nirvana Amrushaya Kshina Kalmashaha Chinna Dvaidha, without duality. Then he's still alive. For the remaining part of life, what he does? Sarva bhuta hito rataha. Tukaram Maharaj beautifully said, Tuka mane ata urlo upkara purta. That means I have no usage except sarva bhuto hito rataha. And if the realized person, Jnani, does this, then God, being the permanent Jnani Ishvara, he will always be wishing only goodness for us. And yet we say that, Kya pata nahi Bhagwan ke man mein aaya, why this is happening? God, where are you? I am suffering. Why are you doing this to me? Sarva bhuto hita rataha. How can he do this to you? He will never do it. Then who did it? You, sir. Last station, you took the bag and alighted into the next station. The bag is full of dirt. Who filled the bag? I filled the bag. I cannot be shouting on others. Kama krodha viyuktanam yatinam yatachetasam abhito brahma nirvanam vartate vidit atmanam. Abhito. Abhito means the person who has reached to this jnana level is never afraid. How this is possible? There will be some amount of fear. If you don't believe it, read Gurudev, read Swami Vivekananda. What was the situation in which Gurudev was scared or afraid? Even when the government of India decided to revoke the passport during emergency, he said, hell with you. Didn't matter. When the minister was going to attend the thing and he got delayed, he said, don't let him in. Oh, but then what the minister will do? Abhihi. Swami Vivekananda says the only message of Upanishads is Abhihi. Never be under the spell of fear. Sparshana krutva bahirbahyan chakshuscha eva antarbhuvo prana apana samakrutva nasabhyam charino. Then such a yogi who has mastered the pranas, because the tanmatras are in his hands, he has mastered the pranas, he orders the prana and apana to reach at the nabhisthanam, and that is the way the kundalini starts. It is called udghatya. A powerful push is given to sushumna. Yat indriyaha manaha buddhi munihi moksha parayanaha vigata ichha bhaya krodha yah sada mukta evasa. Vigata ichha bhaya krodha. If these three are present, he is not mukta. Ichha, ask a question to yourself. Are you completely devoid of desire? And we will realize, no. Hazaro khwahishe aisi ki har khwahish pe dam nikle. I have tons of desire, so I am not mukta. Bhaya krodha, every day we have this. That is why in the last shloka, Bhagavan gives a parting shot. Bhoktaram yajna tapasa sarva loka maheshwaram suvrudam sarva bhutanam jnatva mam. Not only himself reaches the jnanam level, he understands me as bhoktaram of everything. I am the bhokta. Jethe jato tethe tu mazha sangati. That means, oh consciousness, you come with me everywhere, because it is the consciousness that gives you ability to have the bhoga. So he is the bhoktaram, sarva loka maheshwaram. He is the lord of all the experiences that the jivas or jantavas have. Shantim ruchhati. He arrives, attains, not Shantim apnoti, Shantim ruchhati. He arrives or attains the para shanti. That is the narration given in this particular adhyaya about the one who has reached the destination. The idea is very simple. If you know Einstein and you are a student, you know how much you can really work hard. So that is how Adarsham means mirror in Sanskrit. Bhagavad Gita is putting an Adarsha in this 15 shlokas so that we can look towards it and keep on measuring our progress towards the destination. The destination point is Gurudeva himself. Hari Om.